Hello. Every young ladies, please listen to this. Marry a man who has sense. A wise man once said, a big head without sense is a load to the neck. Marry a man who has sense. Number one, marry a man who has sense enough to know that your opinion also counts as a woman. There are so many men out there, they never consider the opinions or the ideas of their spouse. Such a man lack what they call akanuche. Number two, marry a man who has sense enough to know that as a human being, you can also be tired sometimes. There are so many men out there, they never see that their wives can be tired. A man, when they come home and they see that their wife is tired, not able to go to the kitchen to cook, a reasonable man should know that my wife is not always like this. Why is it that my wife cannot cook today? So let me enter into the kitchen and prepare meal for her and for the family. A reasonable man will do that. So marry a man who has sense enough to know that as a woman, you are also a human being. Sometimes you can be worn out by the stress of children, by mental stress as well. Marry a man who has sense. Number three, marry a man who has sense enough to know that your body system will never remain the same after giving birth to 1, 2, 3, 4 children. So a reasonable man will not compare you to a under 16 out there, because what you have been through, the under 16 has not went through it. So a reasonable man, a man who has sense, will not compare you to a woman out there who has not given birth to a child. Now, so many men do this. When they look at the stretch mark on their wife's body, they begin to mess up with their mind. Why? Because they don't understand that that stretch mark is not as a result of laziness. It's as a result of what they have been through. Now, I am not saying as a woman that you should not take care of yourself or your husband. Please do your best to make sure that you take care of yourself. If you can get rid of those stretch marks in your body, you can do that and get rid of them. But a reasonable man will not be thinking, why do you have stretch mark all over your body? Then after having 4 children, 5 children for you, what do you expect that woman to have in her body? Stretch mark will surely come. Number 4, marry a man who has sense enough to know that marrying you is not doing you a favor. Marrying you is not doing you a favor. There are so many men out there with this mentality, thinking that marrying their wives, that they have done their wife a favor. But in the actual sense, who actually do who a favor? The Bible says, he who finds a wife finds good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. A reasonable man will not start thinking or talking to the wife saying, if I didn't marry you, you wouldn't have been where you are today. Believe me, between you and your woman, who did each other a favor, a reasonable man will know that I am where I am today because I married you. That is how a reasonable man will always think. Number 5, marry a man who is sensible enough to know that paying your bride price doesn't mean he has bought you. I repeat myself, marry a man who is sensible enough to know that paying your bride price doesn't mean that he has bought you with a price. A reasonable man knows that there is no amount of money, there is no amount of silver or gold or diamond that can equal to his wife, because his wife is beyond rubies, is beyond what can be bought with money. So every reasonable man will always know, and they will always think that my wife can never be bought with money. Listen to this again. Any big head without sense is a load to the neck. God bless you.